You never realize how much peace means to you until someone takes it away. For me, peace was watching the sunset from my porch, sipping coffee with my wife, and knowing my little piece of property was truly mine. But then she came along. Her name was Linda. Though everyone in the neighborhood called her the HOA Queen, not because she was elected, no. She appointed herself, strutting around with a clipboard, handing out violations as if she owned every inch of land in sight. It started small. A stern look here, a muttered complaint there. But one evening, I heard the sound of tires crunching gravel right outside my window. I peeked out, and there it was, her shiny white BMW parked across my driveway like it belonged there. I stepped outside. "Linda," I called, trying to keep my voice calm. "You're parked in my driveway." She didn't even look embarrassed. Instead, she waved a hand as if I were a servant interrupting her. "Oh, relax, Harold. I'll just be a minute. It's quicker for me to cut through here to get to the back road," my fists clenched. "That's my private driveway, not a shortcut." She smirked. "Driveway? It looks more like community access. Besides, I'm the HOA president. If anyone has a right, it's me." That was the moment something inside me shifted. I wasn't just annoyed. I was violated. This wasn't about a current. It was about respect, dignity, and standing up for what was mine. The days that followed only got worse. Linda started using my driveway almost daily. At first I thought maybe she'd stop if I confronted her enough. But instead, she doubled down. One morning, I caught her again. "Linda," I shouted, standing in front of her BMW. "This ends now." She rolled down her tinted window, sunglasses perched on her nose, and smirked. "Harold, don't be so dramatic. It's just a driveway." I leaned closer. "It's not just a driveway, it's my property. You're trespassing." Her voice turned icy. "You know, Harold, the HOA doesn't look kindly on people who cause trouble. Maybe I should take a closer look at your lawn, your shed, your porch. I could find a dozen violations before dinner." My wife, Margaret, came outside, her hands trembling. "Please, let's not fight," she whispered. But I could see the tears in her eyes. She hated conflict, but she hated injustice more. Linda smirked again and drove off, leaving tire marks like scars across the gravel. That night, Margaret sat beside me at the kitchen table. "She's bullying us," she said quietly. "You've worked your whole life for this home. We can't let her trample over it." Her words hit me deep. I realized this wasn't just about stopping Linda. It was about protecting my family's peace, dignity, and pride. I decided to take action, but not the kind Linda expected. I wasn't going to shout or call the police. No, I was going to outsmart her. For weeks, I watched her pattern. She used my driveway around 8 a.m. sharp, cutting through to avoid the morning traffic. She did the same in the evening. That's when the plan formed. One weekend, I went to the hardware store and ordered several truckloads of stone. Not just pebbles, big, jagged landscaping rocks. By Sunday evening, I had transformed my long, welcoming driveway into a narrow stone barrier. It looked like a beautiful rock-lined path, but in reality, it was an unbreakable wall. Any car that tried to pass through would face scratches, dents, and disaster the first morning after. I waited. Sure enough, Linda's BMW came rolling up. She slowed down, confused, then stepped out. "What on earth is this?" she shouted, her voice sharp as broken glass. "It's landscaping," I replied calmly, sipping my coffee on the porch. "Private property, remember?" Her face flushed red. "You can't do this. I'll report you to the HOA." I smiled. "Go ahead. I already checked the bylaws. Landscaping is permitted, and this is well within my rights. Besides, no one said I had to make my driveway convenient for you." She stomped her foot like a child denied candy. "You'll regret this, Harold." But for the first time in weeks, I felt something I hadn't felt before: freedom. Linda tried everything after that. She sent letters, threatened fines, even showed up with a couple of HOA board members. But when they saw the rock-lined driveway, admitted it was perfectly legal. One evening, as the sun set, I found Linda standing at the edge of my property. Her arms were crossed, but her eyes looked tired, almost broken. "Why'd you do this, Harold?" she asked softly. "You made me look like a fool," I sighed. "Linda, it was never about making you look bad. It was about protecting my home, my peace. You came into my driveway like it was yours, and you left me no choice." Her voice wavered. I didn't think it mattered. "Everyone else lets me through." I shook my head. That's the problem. Respect isn't about convenience, it's about boundaries. And when you cross someone's boundary without permission, you take a piece of their dignity. For the first time, she didn't argue. She looked down, then back at me. There was something in her eyes, regret, maybe even shame. From that day on, she'd never used my driveway again. Slowly, the hostility faded. We weren't friends, but we were neighbors who finally understood one thing. Peace only comes when respect is honored. As I sat back on my porch with Margaret, watching the sunset, I felt a deep calm. The stones in my driveway weren't just rocks, they were a wall of dignity, built with patience and resolve. And sometimes, that's the lesson life gives us. When people trample over your peace, you don't need to fight with rage. You just need to stand firm. Protect what matters. Let them learn the hard way. Neighbors can be difficult, and HOAs can sometimes feel overbearing. But respect, boundaries, and dignity are worth standing up for. Have you ever had a neighbor cross a line? Share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear it. This story is just the beginning. There is so much more ahead. Subscribe to the channel to join me on this journey.